Casey at the Bat, a ballad of the Republic sung in the year 1888, by Ernest L. Thayer, illustrated by C.F. Payne. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with one inning more to play. And then when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game.
Struggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to that hope which springs eternal in a human breast. They thought if only Casey would but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat.
But Flynn preceded Casey, and so did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a Lulu, and the latter was a cake. So upon the stricken multitude, grim melancholy sat, for there seemed little chance of Casey's getting to the bat.
But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, with such despise, tore the cover of the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Johnny safe at second and Flynn a hugging third.
And from 5,000 throats and more there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell, it knocked upon the mountain, it recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat.
There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat.
10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip.
And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said.
From the benches black with people, there went a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Hurt him, hurt the umpire, somebody shouted on the stand, and it's likely they had hurt him not. Casey raised his hand.
With the smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!"
Fraud, cried the maddened thousands of echo answered. Fraud! But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let the ball go by again.
The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow.
Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville, mighty Casey has struck out.